It's finished now, but I'm about to undertake this rather technical build for me of a drawer slide for the back of my F-150. I have an old one, it's getting long in the tooth. This one will replace it. The video will start off with me showing you the old one in case you wanted to make one completely out of wood, and I have to disassemble it and use some of the same parts, leading up to this metal one made with angle irons and drawer slides. Follow along with me if you want to see how it's done. This is split into two videos which have been posted simultaneously. At the end there'll be a placard on the last screen, and there's also a link down below where you can move on to the second one to see the build finish. So, if it's something you're interested in, enjoy. About 10 years ago, when I bought this F-150, I realized it was kind of tall, and I was getting a little older, and I was done, hauling cement blocks and gravel and stuff. Needed to get some plywood from the box store, or some boards, or a couple bags of cement, things like that. So I built this drawer, and it opens up a long ways. It's been very good. It was my first drawer I ever built. It's getting a little long in the tooth now. It's quite old. And this is version 1.0. In my head, I have designed and built 2.0, 3.0, and probably 4.0. And now I'm ready for, I think, 5.0, which is the only other one I've ever built besides this. And it's going to be very different from this, and it's going to be thinner, svelter, and I hope look a little bit better and run even more smoothly. What I've got this time around is some 16-inch industrial drawer slides. A pair of them are rated at 500 pounds, and I've got 4 of them. I'll explain why 4 later on. And I'm planning on making a drawer with these that will fit this box, and if I should pick up another truck in a few years, that's still debatable. I love a truck, but I'm getting older. I'm going to build it so it'll still fit the 6.5 box that I have, and that I will probably get in that, I have an extended cab and don't need a really long box in the back. But it first starts with getting this thing out of here. And once I do that, I'm going to take it all apart, get rid of it, maybe salvage this part to put the flooring here so I don't have to buy any more plywood, and we'll go from there. So let me show you how it was made. I had a pin here with a hole in it to hold it in place, and I had another hole right up there so I could pull it out the length of the tailgate and put that pin in and lock it in place. Underneath it are 24 small wheels, and that's what it rolls on. And what holds it together, there's another piece of metal here with a wheel, and that wheel follows the aluminum all the way down, and if the drawer tries to flip up, particularly when it gets towards the end and the end gets heavy, this holds it down. If I want to take the drawer off, I move it up and I can put it on top of the aluminum and roll it out. Not easy to do, but I can. And This goes all the way down, and I'm not going to do this now because I'm just on sawhorses until this wheel hits that bolt, and that's as far out as it can go. It was a good design at the time. You can see I overextended it over here by having some wood hanging off the end of it, and it split the sides. I have some little tabs here that I used for straps to hold in my generator and my propane bottle when I go camping. And there's a piece of OSB down here, and there's one on the top. This OSB is held up really well, and I am going to be covering it with a material. So I'm going to try to salvage either this one or that one. Doesn't matter if there are screw holes in it. It'll save me from buying another piece. And it's kind of cut about the right shape. So now to take it apart. So here you can see all the wheels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 24. So I have 8 in 3 rows. And each one has 2 or 3 of these screws in them, which I want to salvage because they're great screws. They're a really high grade aluminum, has a self-drilling and a large head with a Torx bit in the end. So I really like these screws. I'm going to salvage them all, but right now I've got to take them off. And we'll be salvaging the wheels. I'm not sure if I'll ever use them again, but I can't throw them away. Coke. Well, the old one is all apart. There it is. That's about it. There's a sheet of OSB on the truck, 2x4s, another sheet there, and that's about it. So now I have to decide what I can use. I have at least one sheet of OSB that is good, and the other one is still pretty good. They're thick. They're 3/4 inch. They're not half, which is what I wanted. I only need one sheet. I was going to need a couple of 2x4s to cut down for trim, and I have quite a few. I don't know if they're long enough because I don't want to start piecing things together, but I think I'll be able to use them. So now I need to go and pick up some angle iron, lots of it, but it's the 4th of July, and I'm doing the things I like to do best on the 4th. I'm retired, I live at the lake, so every day is a 4th to me. It doesn't matter, but I have to wait till Monday. Today is Friday, and then we'll get started. With this one, there'll be very little woodworking. It'll be almost all metal fabrication and welding, but it's going to be good. Oh yeah. Well, I am a bit warm. I am at Moore and Steel in Alfred. The gentleman has been cutting me some steel, and there is all but one piece. We're almost done. Boards, a few bolts, some other stuff, and we can get started. Well, today is a really hot day outside, so I have a lot of drilling of holes to do on this angle iron. So this would be a good day to do that. Other than that, I got to be outside in the driveway working on this thing and fitting it and welding it and such. So I have new air conditioning going over there, which you may be able to hear. $35 online from Marketplace. Looks brand new, 10,000 watt BTUs. I installed it the other day, so I'll be cool enough in here. Here's one of the sliders. Here's the angle iron. The slider is 3 inches. The angle iron is 2 inches, so that the holes are about 1.5 inches on the side of the slider, so that when I drill holes, I will still hit the angle iron here, and it'll leave some room at the top for play. I figure that when this is made, I'll have another angle iron here for the top part of the slider that the bed rides on. 3 inches. This is 1/8 of an inch steel, so I've got 3 1/4 inches plus 3/4 of an inch of the OSB on the top, and I will be under 4 inches high. So the truck bed drawer will not be that thick. It should be 4 inches or under, as far as I can tell, which is good because my other one was like 7 or 8 inches high, and I lost a lot of room from the bed of the truck up to the roof of my tonneau cover when I wanted to put something higher into it. So I need to drill some holes in this stuff, and I have 4 pieces of this for this, and another 4 for the slide part. So I have 8 pieces to drill, 4 holes each. So that's a lot of holes. I recently got a set of new cobalt drills, which is going to make this so much easier, as long as I don't break them, because they tend to be brittle. I just have to be careful. Okay, so all 3 holes were drilled. One of them didn't line up, so I put it back in the drill press with this bolted on, and put a 1/4 inch drill through it, because that's how big the hole is on the other side of the drawer slide. I drilled these 5/16 to give me a little leeway, so it wouldn't be so tight in case it didn't line up completely. Here's going to be the bottom rail, and here is the drawer slide extended. And remember, as a pair, these are 500-pound drawer slides. I'm going to be putting 4 of them. There are 2 more in the middle, but I really never plan on extending this out with any weight at all. Okay, I have the 2 temporarily bolted together, just a bolt on each end. The slides in the middle, and there we go, and back. One thing I do want to do, though, is I want to make this one face in the same direction as this one. And so the holes are drilled wrong. But if I use this on the other side of the truck, the holes will be in the right place. So I have to drill holes, a new one for this, so that this comes up and faces the inside. But this will work over there. Now I have a lot more to measure and align and make. And it's not fun to do, and I will not bore you with it. Here are the 4 rails, much as they'll be set up in the truck. 2 on the outside, 2 in the middle. The 2 in the middle actually have locks. You can hear it click when it shuts. Put them on the inside, so you don't have to reach out in order to get them. And of course, they'll be underneath the bed here. You'll be glad that I just didn't film the whole thing. I've been working on this for the last 4.5 to 5 hours. There are lots of holes. There are left rails. There are right rails. The top ones are drilled so that the rail isn't flush with the top, so the wood doesn't drag on the slider. I didn't have to drill any holes twice, but I will tell you that I thought about each one before I did it to get the left and the right sides right. But when these are in the truck, or before they're in the truck, I will lay them out outside and level them off really good on my sawhorses. And then there is some 1.5-inch flat bar that will be welded right across. There are 4 pieces evenly spaced. On the back end, I'm planning on anchoring it into the truck. My Ford has 2 on this end, 2 on that end, and 2 on the other end, bolts to hold the box onto the frame. And they're a T50 bolt. They're very, very big. And from what I understand, they can be miserable to take out. I do have a breaker bar, but I don't want to break the T50 socket because those can be brittle. So I'll give it kind of a reasonable try to see. Maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe they'll crack really easy. What I'm going to do now is I'll extend these, and you can see just how far they come out. I will not be extending these out like this and putting any weight on them, for sure, because that's just asking for trouble. So what I will do is extend them out maybe about 2 feet when I want to load something. And only do this if I want to pile some things on that are not too heavy, and then slide it back into the truck. So here it is, fully extended from another vantage point. And when I put them in, they're a little bit shorter than the bed of the truck. One thing I'm going to have to do, really serious about, is to make sure these are lined up properly, because when I weld them together with the straps, if they are askew at all, this angle will accentuate itself as I pull it out, and the drawer will bind. So I'm going to tack everything together, and then I can re-tack if I have to, or at the least kind of knock it into place a little bit and square it off if it seems like it's not good enough. So maybe the hardest part is done. I could be a fool thinking that, because I've never made one of these before. And the design is completely in my head, and sometimes the design that's in my head isn't quite what comes out at the end that works. But fingers crossed, I usually get lucky. If not, I can back up and punt, I suppose. The next cool day, maybe tomorrow, we'll get out here and start doing some welding. Well, the first step in welding this together is to get my horses in this very rough driveway and level them. And what I have done is not quite at the bubble, but pretty good. And then this way, it's also pretty good. And then also this way. And this way. And if we go from corner to corner, it's also decent. So now that this is leveled, I can put a piece of sheeting on top and then bring the pieces out. Oh, another thing. These bolts right here that hold the bed in, there are 2 way up there, couldn't budge them. These 2 were non-budgeable. That one in the middle right there was non-budgeable, but this one came out so easy in the center. So what I'm going to do is use that center one to help anchor it, and then I need at least one more point over here, and I think I'll use a couple of exploding rivets. But I needed to define those first because these straps that are going to go across the bottom have to be in the right location. So I needed to define which ones I'd be using. Well, these are laid out, and the outside pair is all lined up and squared off, corner to corner, and the width. So that should be good. I'm going to tack it together and then tack the middle ones, and then keep triple checking it as I go along. In the next and final episode, we'll weld the thing up, do the final assembly, and mount it in the truck.